It's a guessing game. It's a guessing game. It's a guessing game. It's a guessing game.
Yes, thank you. Hello. Hello, I'm Clive Anderson, and welcome to the Guessing Game. In this programme, I ask impossibly difficult questions to possibly brilliant guests to see if they can come up with improbably entertaining answers. Pitting their wit and wisdom against each other today, we have some of the best comedians in the Western world, or at any rate, the west of Scotland. Our first team captain turned her back on a successful career as a corporate lawyer to become a stand-up comedian. She now does the funniest routines since George Osborne's last budget. It's Susan Calman.
Hello.
On Susan's team is an Irish comic and writer who has a book out just now, and we've just had a call from the library. It's now overdue. Maeve Higgins. Our other captain has combined comedy with music, comedy with world history, and even comedy with bird watching. His next aim is to combine comedy with laughter. Alex Horne. Hello. With Alex today is a stand-up comedian and breakfast DJ who shares his name with an original character on Neighbours. No, it's not Bouncer, it's Des Clarke. Well, these are our lovely guests, and also joining us on stage is, of course, our wonderful house band, the Gus and Finn Four.
Hey, ho, let's go. Hey, ho, run one.
The Gus and... Yeah, oh. Don't encourage them too much, we'll never get them off, but the Gus and Finn Four, they're the ukulele version of the Pussycat Dolls. Well, Gus has a pussycat, and Finn plays with dolls still. This is the quick-fire round. It's a test of our panel's intelligence. You score 2 points for each correct answer and 1 point if it's just a funny guess. So this is question one. What is the main difference between John Terry and a gibbon?
There's never been a song called The Funky John Terry.
Yeah? No.
That's true. I'll get...
Not yet.
Quite clearly, one is a human and one is not a human, which I would say is another main difference between the two of them.
Jury's still out on that one.
I take issue with that. I think the gibbon will eventually evolve into a human, whereas John Terry, I don't think ever will.
Yes. Going backwards. All right. You're getting another point. I'm going to tell you that gibbons are monogamous. So that's the main difference. It's an interesting fact of all the sort of ape species. Gibbons are the only ones who mate for life and stay with one. All the others monkey around quite a lot. And so
Try telling that to my ex-husband. He was a gibbon.
All right, I'll do another question. Which motorway in the United Kingdom is the sexiest for grandmas? There you go, Susan.
There is no sexier motorway in my mind than the M8. When you stop at Hart Hill, God, it's like a romantic destination of choice.
Yeah.
If you're trying to impress someone, take them for a drive, stop at Hart Hill. They've got a new bridge. It's like being at in Paris at the Seine.
Yeah.
Or the Bridge of Sighs in Venice. You can stand and look at the traffic and go, this will never get any better.
Well, you're right. The M8 is a good motorway because it's quite epic when it goes through Glasgow. When it gets to Edinburgh, it stops for some reason 30 miles away from the city centre, and then I think you hop on a tram at that point. I think that's the idea. Yes, Des.
Is it the M74? Because if you ask most old people what age they are, they go, M74?
Oh, I'm going to have to tell you the answer to this one, I think. It's the M6 toll motorway, and this was tarmacked, apparently, using 2.5 million Mills and Boon novels as ingredients to make it more absorbent. Are you a big Mills and Boon reader, Susan?
Oh, I can't get enough of them, Clive. I swear I sit down every day, watch Loose Women, read a Mills and Boon. That's all my little female brain can cope with, Clive.
All right. Next question. What items of mine would I let a bog handler touch first?
Do you mean dog handler? Is this are you reading it right? Do you want to check again? Is it dog?
No, it's a bog handler, not a dog handler. A bog handler. Yes.
Bog handler is someone that handles bogs.
Yes.
So I would say a bog being a marshy field or a toilet. Which one? Tell me.
Neither of those. I'll give you a hint. It's actually a word from a different language from English. Book handler.
Okay.
What
I'm trying to put an accent on to help you. Book handler. Might be like
Australian. What is
Australia. Come on. It's not.
Some kind of
I think you're doing Dutch.
It's not quite Dutch. You're in the right area. Danish.
Danish.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a word a bit like bug.
Bug.
Book. Your book. You were the first person, Alex, to say book. I'll give you a point. He'd be handling my books. Okay. What shrinks the higher up an astronaut goes?
I'm not happy. Why does the bug handler? Why is he coming round to your? Why is he coming round to your house from Denmark?
Because he's a bookseller or a bookshop. What shrinks the higher up an astronaut goes? Yes, Dave.
Is it his bog handler?
No, it's not. Yes, Susan.
But it is muscle.
Muscle.
It's muscle.
Yes.
It's muscle.
Which a particular muscle we have in mind?
The heart.
It's the heart. Yes. I think that's the first correct answer. Susan Calman, 2 points. By the end of that round, both teams have got 4 points. So well done.
Round two.
Thank you. Now, we're here in the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, so we have a proper actor. It's the actor Harry Gooch. Harry's dream is to play Hamlet, Sarah Lund, Scooby-Doo, and other Great Danes. The guys are now going to play a musical clue that relates to a famous moment in time. Now, this could be history, it could be a big thing, it could be a small thing, it could be celebrity, it could be anything. In addition, Harry Gooch will drop in a few sound effects, performances to give extra clues. Susan, your team goes first. Here are your musical and other clues.
Here we come, walking down the street. We get the funniest looks from everyone we meet. Hey, hey, with the monkeys. People say we're monkeying around. We're too busy singing to put anybody down. We're just trying to be friendly. Mumble something, sing and play. We're the young generation. We've got something to say.
To be or not to be, tweet.
What are they encapsulating there? What would you think?
I think, I don't know about you, but I think that was somewhat of a story of time, starting with the Big Bang.
The Big Bang, or the Big Balloon, as
Big
it was
balloon,
here. Yeah, the Big
through
Bang.
the monkeys. Harry, you're a genius in every way. So I don't know what the specific term is. Maybe evolution? Is it evolution?
You're spot on. I can't query any of that. You get your 2 points there. We covered it really well, the Big Bang, and then we skipped right forward to monkeys, leaving out about a few
and
million
finishing
years.
with Twitter, which is, of course, the kind of pinnacle of human achievement.
It is.
I think, like
they were-
140 characters to insult someone you've seen off the telly. I don't.
So now let's do the next one for the other team. This has involved a piece of lycra being tested to the utmost.
Riding along on my push bike, honey, when I noticed you. Riding downtown in a hurry, honey, down South Avenue, you looked so pretty. As you were riding along, you looked so pretty. As you were singing this song.
I'm going to go for evolution.
You sound like somebody who's cheated and seen the right answer to the wrong question.
I mean, you used the word lycra earlier, which both Des and I are wearing under our desks.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think we need to know that.
I've just written the words Chris Hoy.
yeah,
Chris
I've
Hoy.
written down
Because
Hoy.
it's bikes, and it's his lycra was tested because he's got thighs the size of houses.
I heard it was 2 houses, yeah.
2 houses, yeah.
They've got separate postcodes, haven't they?
They have. The bit in the middle's the boundary line. Well, it's got to be something to do with bikes.
Look, Des, you're looking worried, concerned, but you're spot on. It was Chris Hoy is what we were actually aiming at. So it was the tear-jerking, mum-wearing, thigh-pumping, flag-raising moment of Sir Chris Hoy becoming Britain's all-time greatest gold medal-winning Olympian. That's what we're going for. And at the end of that round, we're still equal. 6 points each. Alex and Susan.
Round 3.
So this is round 3, and it's a quotation thing. You've got your fans in tonight. You're getting rounds of applause just to your jingles. This is a quotation round. We'll give you a quote, and you guess who originally said it. That's all you've got to do. You've heard the quote, "You talking to me? Are you talking to me?" Which was, of course, Helen Mirren as the Queen. But Harry's going to do these in character, but not necessarily the right character. So are you ready for us today? You well prepared, Harry?
I'm very prepared. I've been looking at Grotowski today, Clive.
Oh, right. Is that a breed of dog?
Quite possibly. Named after a Polish theatrician.
Theatrician is somebody who acts and fixes the lights as well.
Grotowski worked towards a poor theatre, and I think tonight I can achieve a poor theatre. Very poor theatre.
At least
indeed.
a poor performance. No, you're going to do a great performance as usual. You've got several quotes to do. Do your first one, please.
German? I don't know what that means.
I'll give you the options. Was it Basil Fawlty, Taylor Swift, or Justin Bieber?
It is Justin Bieber.
Well done, Susan. Now, I think that's a historic moment. So I think it's the first time you've guessed when I've given you 3 options playing this round. Do you have to know? Are you a big Justin Bieber fan?
Baby, oh, sweet baby. No, I hate him. Yeah. I'm a fan of. I'm not a believer.
I think you could go around it being a sort of substitute judge. I don't think he's coming back to Britain anymore because he had such a bad time.
Pretend to be Scotland's foremost Justin Bieber impersonator.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's a huge market. My Jimmy Cranky work will keep me in shoes.
Let's move on to the second quote from Harry, please.
I know that the human being and fish can exist peacefully.
Okay. Yes, Maeve?
My mother said that before. That's a direct quote. My mother, Monica Higgins.
Yeah. Are you prepared to swear on a holy book that your mother definitely said that? No, you're not. I was going to give you a bonus point just on the basis it was a family saying. But no, I'm not giving you there. Anybody more famous, if that's possible, than Maeve's mother?
Harry Ramsden. Harry Ramsden. That's how he opened his chain of restaurants.
Yes, I'll give you a point for that. It's not the right answer, but it's worth a point.
I know the answer.
You know the answer.
But I would spoil it just to say it.
I think say it.
I'm not sure you're spoiling very much. What is the right answer?
Well, I think that it's George Walker Bush.
You're absolutely right. President Bush said that. I think it deserves a round of applause for that depth of knowledge.
Did he not say he doesn't like the French because they don't have a word for entrepreneur?
Yes. Yeah. Get away with words.
He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, you've got your point for your cat gag and 2 points for the right one, so you're doing very well. Third quote, please, from Harry.
If I die before my cat, I want a little of my ashes put in his food so I can live inside of him.
Oh, look at Susan. She's practically purring.
Is the answer Susan Calman?
Do you know,
that's
it's
a good
not
guess.
the answer on the page, but do you know, it is the actual answer. That is an actual answer, because if I go before my cat, I do want a little bit of my ashes.
But however much you love your cat or your pet, you don't want to be eaten by your cat.
Yeah, I want to live on in Muppet or Pickle or Oscar.
In your pit or pickle?
That's the names of my cat. Muppet.
Pit.
Muppet.
Oh, Muppet.
Muppet.
Oh, Muppet. I thought it was my pit.
Or Oscar.
Yeah.
So if I die, I would like to know that a little bit of me lives on in Muppet.
So you come in hey, it's the Muppet Show. Meow, meow, meow. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, you do? I'm sorry.
I sincerely hope you're not in any way taking the piss out of the fact that I adore those cats more
I'm
than I
more of
adore
a dog
humans.
man myself.
Well, I'm a cat lady that lives upstairs from you and shouts at your kids with a bottle of gin in my dressing gown pocket. But the answer is Susan Calman, because Susan Calman wants that to happen when she dies.
I want another answer, though.
Is the answer George Galloway? I didn't know there were so many George Galloway fans in tonight.
Yeah.
He loved cats so much.
Can you
so
do it?
He became one.
Can you do it?
Would you like me to be the cat?
Is that the quote?
Oh, okay. Another point for Des. There's always a bonus for a George Galloway impression. It's either Andrew Lloyd Webber, Drew Barrymore, or Susan Boyle. That's your option.
Susan Boyle.
Susan Boyle, wrong.
Must
You're
be
back,
Susan
you're
Boyle.
back to your usual thing. You've got a chance of an extra couple.
Take our time.
Let's take our time.
I think maybe
Alex.
do another George Galloway impression, get another point in the bag.
I admire your strength, your courage, your indefatigability.
No, you've had your point for that. Yeah.
I can do a
It's
George
either
Galloway
Andrew Lloyd Webber
impression.
or Drew Barrymore. You
I
get
can
one.
do a George Galloway
George
impression.
Galloway. I think it's only fair you let her do her
Okay.
George Galloway impression.
My name is George Galloway.
Did
Can I
he
please
just
have a
arrive in
point?
the
It's
room
like
there?
he's here.
Can I please get 1 point?
No, of course not. Do an impression of your mother. You're on secure ground there, because we don't know what she sounds like. And it's probably a bit like you anyway.
I can do Meryl Streep in A Cry in the Dark.
Oh,
That
yeah.
dingo stole my baby Dora.
I can do Meryl Streep in that Irish film that she was in that no one saw.
Welcome to Who Do You Do?
Yeah.
4 top impressionists. Sorry.
Kermit the Frog. Hello and welcome to the Muppet Show. I'm Susan.
That's Susan's cat.
Sorry.
Who was it? Andrew Lloyd Webber or Drew Barrymore?
Michael Barrymore's sister Drew.
Okay, Drew Barrymore. I'll give you a point for putting me out of my misery. Okay, well done. That's the end of that round. Oh, how the scores are being added up very meticulously. And shock news, Susan's team's got 9, but Alex's team's got 11.
I said, hey, hey, ho,
It's round 4.
Yes, it's round 4, and this is a specialist subject round where we save time by choosing the specialist subject for our panellists. The house band will play a themed musical backdrop while I ask both teams some questions. The specialist subject, concentrate on what I say, is war and peas. So, we've declared war on peas, but the peas have Britain surrounded. How many peas would that take? To surround Britain, how many peas? Question 2. Why would we declare on peas? Why would we declare war on peas? How many thousands of people did pea soup kill in Britain in 1952? Pea soup, Britain, 1952. Final question, let's fight back. How could cricketer Freddie Flintoff help us win the war against peas? Okay, thank you very much. Pretty straightforward, you might think. So, how many
I did this
peas?
for my PhD. So I'm going to really... Well, thank you, Alex.
Oh, definitely a point.
Very sincere.
A point there. I didn't quite hear the answer, but it got a big laugh, so it must have been funny. So how many peas would it take to surround Britain? So you're putting peas all the way around Britain.
Well,
how many?
Luckily, when I was a student, we did this in Freshers' Week. So, so I know that the answer
Yes.
is 5,400,012.
Well, I'm going to give points, I think, for the closest answer. So 5,400,000 was that?
And 12.
And 12.
I think it's one less than what she said.
One less. An old quizzing technique, if I may say so, which means you get the 2 points because we've calculated it would take roughly 4 billion peas.
Good.
Tactically, you're outmanoeuvred by the one more, one less
Well, I
thing.
spent a year of her life.
Yeah, no, she didn't. She made that bit up. Now, why would we declare war on? Why would we declare war on peas?
Like the way that you've just...
I
you're
spotted
just
that.
You're like that. No, she didn't.
I was taken in while you were telling me, but I worked it out.
I've got it.
Yeah.
Why would we declare war on peas?
Oh.
So is it a urine?
You were miming having a pee under the desk in a very decorous way. So maybe I saw it. We wouldn't, because we love peas. The UK really loves peas.
I don't like peas. I don't like peas.
We even host an annual pea festival, and it's in Peason Hall in Suffolk, where you can celebrate peas by playing games such as pea bowling, flick a pea, and aim your pea into a toilet. Oh. So you were almost right with that.
Well, we've got it in
What a
Scotland.
country.
Yeah.
Pea in the park.
Yeah.
We've got it up
Pea in
here
the
as well,
park.
yes.
Okay. So let's go on to question 3. How many thousands of people did pea soup kill in Britain in 1952?
I'm going to go for one less than what Susan's going to say.
I'm not
Can you
going to
explain
say,
the question
no,
and the
I'm
answer?
not going to say anything. I want them to say, and then Maeve
we'll
and
go
I
one
will
up.
decide if
Yeah.
we're going higher or lower.
I'm going to give marks if you indicate you understand what I'm talking about.
Well, how many people
how
were
would pea
killed by
soup kill?
fog?
Fog,
Fog,
yes.
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 A fog, is that what you're saying?
It's a
Well,
really
fog
it's
or
not-
smog.
Fog.
And so you bump into things and you bang.
I don't want to hurry you, but there are other programmes that are going to be broadcast on this station. So, what?
No, they're saying
Dave,
it
to
first.
come up
What?
with a
I'm going
number.
big. I'm going 200,000.
200,000.
And we're going-
200,000. That's very
Should we
big.
go- should we go lower? Should we go
Okay,
lower? Yeah, we'll go
100,000,
one lower than
900.
that.
Lower. You go lower. Quite right. It was 12,000. So you get a point for being
Thank God.
that little bit closer.
Finally. We're on the up.
So how could cricketer Freddie Flintoff help us win the war against peas?
Alex, you know about cricket, don't you?
Well, you do a pea roller in cricket if
Oh,
you
yeah,
roll it
that's-
along the ground.
A
But,
daisy cutter, sometimes they call
yeah,
it.
or a pea roller would be more relevant for this question.
Yes, it would. Yeah, but I'm trying to head you off it because it's not the answer we're
Okay,
looking for.
so it's not that. I know it's not that.
This is a very specific thing, and I'd be harsh to require you to get
Is
this.
it that the natural enemy of a pea is a giant man that's drunk throwing a big ball?
No.
Because that's what he does.
Freddie Flintoff, let me tell you, he holds the world record for the most peas eaten with a toothpick within 60 seconds. He did this for charity in 2012, so it's not so long ago, and will surely do it again when the peas attack. So, Susan's team have 11. Alex's team, though, have 13.
Stay alive. It's round 5.
Am I right? Did you always throw in a Bee Gees song in every one of these jingles? I think you do. Now, this is the audience participation round. Guess my story. We've scoured the local newspapers to find amusing stories and asked one participant or somebody featured in those stories to come in and talk about it. So, is there a Sharon Grant in the audience? Sharon Grant. Now, thank you. So, what we've done is we've sort of boiled down Sharon's interesting story to 3 bullet points, and so we can do them sort of separately. She'll do the first bullet point, at the end of which she'll say, can you guess my story? If you can guess it at that point, you'll get 5 points, but if we have to do more bullet points, the points will go down. So, Sharon, take away your first part of your story, if you would.
Me and my kids were stranded by the side of the road when my car broke down. I knew there was only one person I could ring, my husband, Michael. But the call wasn't answered by my husband. It was a strange, confused voice and laughing. Can you guess my story?
Right. So, can you guess the story?
It's my kids and I. I know my dad will be listening to this and he'll be saying, my kids and I were stranded. Not me and my kids and I.
I'm with you. I think you've
sorry,
got a more,
Sharon Grant.
I think that's a more natural way to put it in colloquial, chatty English.
I think maybe.
And what
did
you don't
find
know-
out this happens to people sometimes? They have children and then they realise they were related to the person they had children with.
Let's go on for your next point of your story.
I thought I had a wrong number, so I hung up and tried again. I got the same strange voice, but this time he knew my name. And after chatting to him, I realised that I had interrupted something important. I apologised and hung up. I had been talking to a man who bosses boys around with a whistle. Ooh. Can you guess my story?
Can you guess the story yet?
Well, at first I thought it was going to be one of those weird, spooky coincidences that sometimes happens. Those weird...
Yeah.
Like someone stopped me in the street recently, this is true, because we were wearing the same T-shirt. And they said, "Oh, isn't that weird?" But we're both going to a football match. We both support the same team, so it's not. sometimes it's weird. Sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
I think you phoned in the middle of a football game while they were refereeing or linesman type.
Oh, you're close. Nearly there. Let's get the third bullet point, because I think you're going to get there. I think.
Okay.
But anyway.
The event had been captured on camera and has gone viral. It has received almost 2 million YouTube views. People have called it Gangnam Style, but I didn't dance. Can you guess my story?
What is YouTube?
Well, my lord, it's a thing that if you go onto a computer, like a TV screen word processor device that's hooked up to the telephones around the world.
You don't know, do you, Clive?
I know.
Oh, it's an insult in Glasgow, YouTube. I'm trying to think what was big on the internet. Did Charlie bite your finger?
I want the audience to shout out who she was speaking to when she made the phone call. Neil Lennon. You see, everybody.
It was the press conference.
The press conference.
It was in the
there
press
we are.
conference. Yes.
So there's no points to anybody, but 5 points to everybody in the audience that shouted that. Do you want to just explain the rest of the story? There's only 4 people in the room who don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that was it. My husband's a journalist, and he was at a Celtic press conference, and it was Neil Lennon that answered the phone, and not my husband.
Yeah.
So it was the only press conference that's been remotely interesting.
So
is it not true that the lady in question, did you hang up on Neil Lennon? And then he went, haha, probably doesn't know it's me. And then you phoned again and he said, I'm Neil Lennon. Then you definitely hung up on him.
Yeah,
and have you made up with your husband? Are you still with your husband now?
Yes, he's here with me tonight.
Okay, well, a big round of applause for... Oh, and Sharon and her husband. So, let's read out the scores. And the end of that round, and indeed the end of the quiz. Susan's team have 11 points, Alex's team have 13. So a clear victory for Alex and Des. So... Right, that's the end of the quiz. It's been so exciting. The audience are up on their feet, and there go the cleaners with the hoovers. You can put your feet down now. I've given the scores with a clear victory for Alex. So who'd have guessed that? Certainly not me. So all that remains for me is to thank all of my guests tonight: Des, Clarke, Maeve, Higgins, Susan Calman, Alex Horne, Harry Gooch, and the Gus and Finn 4. You've been listening to The Guessing Game, which challenges